Hello, and welcome to the final interview of Day 3 of PAX East. We saved the best for last. I'm here with Joseph over at Devolver Digital, showing the best shit as usual. And today we played Demon Throttle, and we throttled hard. So Joseph, you in the rundown of this game.
It's a vertically scrolling shooter. It has light RPG elements. It's going to be a physical-only release on the Nintendo Switch. It's very heavily inspired by retro games, specifically NES games. We spent a lot of time, like after work, working on other games. We would go play Nintendo on the CRT. We'd go to the shop and grab Castlevania and try to beat it, and like spend a week on that, and then grab the Mega Mans, one by one, and try to beat those. And we ended up playing a game called King's Knight.
Yes.
Which we really love. It's kind of bad, but it has some really interesting stuff about it, and we were really inspired to try to take some of those elements and make something a little bit more juicy and fun out of it, because it had the curse of being interesting but maybe not fun, because it was so torturing the way it was.
Well, it's definitely fun and interesting.
Yeah.
You described my exact weekends today. Just go through all the Mega Mans, all the Castlevanias.
Yeah.
That's what I do now.
Yeah.
Physical only on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Can you explain why you guys made that? I'm very intrigued by that.
Yeah, well, initially we were just going to release it as a small side project on our own. My studio is called Doinksoft, and we've worked with Devolver on other projects before. And so whenever we have even something small that we're working on, we'll send it over and be like, here's something we're working on in case you're interested in it. And it was actually their idea because it's something they were interested in doing. They work with SRG on physical editions of most of their games. And, Nigel wanted to do a physical only release and just make something that was a unique product. You couldn't just download it and forget about it. You have it in your hand, and there's crap, I paid $30 for this, I better play it. And also the aspect of having an instruction manual and referring to that to learn more about the game. Since stuff isn't tutorialized in this game, you might be playing and be like, what's that for? You just look in the instruction book and it tells you, and then you might read a tip or read some other information that helps you play the game better.
Yeah, see, old men like me, we're used to that. We know what that's about.
Right.
We get that philosophy, but gamers sitting and be like, well, tell me how to do things. I don't know how to do things.
And maybe this can give them that experience that we had. So, yeah.
So, potential NES cartridge only kind of, come on, you have to.
It would be so
only
incredible.
On the Switch.
It would be so incredible. I'll get back to you on that. Check us out next year, maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
So when's it coming out?
It should be coming out sometime this summer. We're shooting for July. The game's done. We're just waiting for the manufacturing process. So, yeah, sometime this summer.
And it's couch co-op only. If you're embracing the whole old school Nintendo kind of vibe.
But if you have a Switch, you have 2 controllers. So that was our idea. Just pick it up, play it. Simple.
Yeah, big Gunsmoke fan I see also in this game. It's
I think Paul is a big Gunsmoke fan. I picked it up and I had a hard time with it. But I mean, that happens with those games. So.
Yeah, not one of my favorites either from the era, but still it has a special place in my heart.
It's special.
It's part of what Nintendo was back in the day.
Yeah.
And this, it's like it was plucked right from the Nintendo era of games.
Right.
You couldn't tell the difference. It was a game you missed at some point growing up. On a sea of great games.
Yeah, I think spiritually, take the idea of it being retro, but technically you couldn't do this on a Nintendo. There's too much stuff going on.
Right.
But yeah, having the spirit of those games is kind of important.
Frame rates are also abound in this. Much more layered color palette too going on.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of sounds. The music in this game is insane. You might not be able to hear it on the show floor, but yeah, when you hear this music, it's got so many layers and notes going on, and that definitely wouldn't have been possible on the NES. Although it really does feel like an NES game, just bleeps and bloops.
Bleeps and bloops, yeah.
But they're cascading bleeps and bloops and jazz fusion bleeps and bloops.
Yeah, I caught a little bit. I was like, I know it sounds good. I need it in my ears the whole time.
You're going to love it. Yeah, ZBW, the composer, is a super talented jazz musician, and and he also does chiptune, and it works well for us. So.
All right. Well, that's Demon Throttle. This is Joseph.
Nice to meet
Doinksoft,
you.
Devolver, amazing game, man.
Andy!
That's me! All right, man. Thank you so much. Thanks.